Welcome to NO Cottage, welcome back. And the candle is burning in the window because we're so fast approaching the beautiful solstice. It's almost upon us, next week actually. So I am so looking forward to that and the return of the light, because in the old Celtic tradition, of course, it was always about the light. And so I've been doing tasks like cleaning out the chimney and cleaning out the stove and cleaning generally, getting things sort of ready for my midwinter feast and the celebrations. And of course, those of you who say, it's not midwinter's not till January. That's for those of you who follow the man-made calendar. I follow the Celtic calendar. And as you can see, there is this sort of anticipation going on in nature. Like when there's a little bit of sunshine, the birds are quite joyous. And you begin to hear this wonderful surge in birdsong within about a week of the solstice. And it's wonderful, it's really uplifting. And the colours, you can see all these beautiful colours. It's very alive out there. For those of you who think that the winter is a dull, still, sleepy time, actually, there's a lot of work going on in nature. And you get these beautiful earth scents. Look at Patsy, she so enjoys being out at this time of the year because the days are still quite short. She sits where the light shines. She's a very clever little girl. And of course, I never forget the fact that it's Christmas because I have 6 grandchildren and they love Christmas. Well, who doesn't love Christmas? And I get all these little decorations out it's not really to amuse them, it's to lay down memories, because I have wonderful memories of celebrating this beautiful tradition. And especially going out walking at this time of the year, which I do regularly, because again, it's just making the most of the short days. And this is a little woodland quite near to me. It's called Doreen Woods. Some of you remember all the bluebells that come up here during April and May. So it's often referred to as the Bluebell Woods. And lots of videos here in the channel that show that. And of course my beloved Jack. Jack used to love the Bluebell Woods. So walking is just lovely. It's lovely to get out there. I can't get enough of it. Well, I can, usually when I'm tired. But I do try to make the effort to get out there and have a walk because Patsy loves walking. And that's one of the lovely things about having a dog, you've got to get out there. I love to do a little bit of baking, and apple pie is one of my favourites. And I like to bake my own because I don't like too much sugar in with the apple. I like it a bit tart. And here's Patsy just lounging away there by the radiator. She knows the warmest spots. She does indeed. Well, I was out having a walk with Patsy and I found this beautiful old branch from one of the decaying ash trees. I'm just going to put it somewhere where you can see let me see, I'll put it down here on this rocking chair. Now, isn't that beautiful? It's a little bit wet. I've put it into this holder with some stones and I'm just going to let it dry out. So I'm going to bring it indoors, let it dry out a little bit, and then I'm going to decorate it for midwinter. It was just such a gift. There it was in the hedgerow. Let me just put this on a little bit of a, there we go, pull it back a little bit. It was just sitting in the hedgerow. Of course, it's a little bit sad as well because The ash trees, most of the ash trees in Ireland are dying because of the Chalara. And I have spoken about this before in previous videos and explained where the Chalara came from, and I blame the EU. Yes, I do. Part of their policy, but you'll have to have a look back on other videos. Now, so, looking forward to doing something with this beautiful little gift. And I was tidying up around the front door, so sweeping up the leaves and cleaning the mats and taking out all the growth from last summer. And I saw my hair and I thought, he's getting a bit wet. So I brought him round onto the veranda to dry him out. And this little table, it's so funny. This was a little table that someone gave me about 20 years ago. And I popped it into the side garden, which at that point was a lawn. But of course the side garden now is, I'll just show you, part of my beautiful woodland. And as you can see, where there was once a lawn is now leaves. So there it was sitting there. I'm really surprised that it has managed to weather the weather here in the west of Ireland, and that it hasn't just turned to rust and, you know, broken up. But even the little glass top on it is perfect. So I've brought that onto the veranda as well. You know, as you do, you chop and change things around and just give new life to old things. A bit like myself, really, isn't it? Don't mind that clock over there. It's like all the other clocks built in the cottage. It has a mind of its own. Yes, I think we're looking at this clock over here, which says 3 o'clock. So I'm in from the land and I'm just relaxing for a few minutes before I start doing my dinner. I should have put the slow cooker on this morning, but I didn't. I got caught up in other things, but you see myself and Patsy are now a bit whacked. Yeah. So, I've got to add some more little tasks to my list of things to do. So, I'll just show you briefly what's going to go onto that list and what I have to do. Now, this is my little branch that can just dry out there. There's no big rush on that. So you know I sorted out the dresser here in the kitchen. So I now need to sort out this dresser top here. It's thick with dust. I don't know if any of you noticed in the last video. The dust, look, on that. Disgraceful, I know. Need to give myself a good talking to about this. So anyway, all those things are going to come down. I'm going to wash them. I'm going to wash down the shelves, put them all back up, and I might even put some more fairy lights up around there. Who knows? Oh, and by the way, see these shirts of mine, these long sleeve t-shirts? The sleeves are very long, so I cut a little hole, look, for these little kind of glove things. My watch is underneath, as you can see. The other thing that I have to do, because I did notice this above my bed. Yes. I don't know why I'm showing you these shameful things, but I do try to share as well, you know. So, this shelf above my bed is very dusty. The things on it are very dusty. I need to bring a few of the bits and pieces down because they're kind of Christmassy things, like this beautiful reindeer's head made out of willow. So I'm going to take everything down, give it a good clean, and put another coat of paint on this shelf. There we go. I did change my bed, yes, trying to keep on top of things. You can see my Christmas socks, they're hanging on the radiator. I put those socks on sometimes if it's very cold before I go to bed, because if your feet and legs are warm, then you're usually nice and warm. And there's the view from my window. Oh, I've got to clean my windows as well. You know, there's so many things to do. And once you start, it's very hard to stop. There's my list. So there's my list. And I would give this as a piece of solid advice, actually. This is a little magnetic board. And so you've got these wee clips here so you can put pieces of paper on the board. This is a little magnetic rubber, and these are the pens you get with it. Now, I mean, it wasn't expensive. It was €6 or €7, something like that. And I put it here on this little wall by my bedroom door, okay? Because it means when I come in here in the evening, I can check things off, which is just rubbing them out. And in the morning, I can add things to it, and I also get a reminder of jobs that need to be doing. Rather than cluttering up my head, I clutter up the board. So blessings to you all, my friends, and thank you to all those who support me on Patreon. But I write for a living. I'm an author. For those of you who are new to the channel, and if you want to see some of my books, and there's even on the website some chapters of books that I've read, my own books that is. So if you'd like to support me by buying a book, I don't think you'll regret it, because I've had very good reviews on all of my books. Blessings to you all. Well, I'm sort of continuing to put the finishing touches to my newly decorated in Tiernan Oak colour sitting room. And you can see my very posh sofas now, can't you? Well, let me tell you the story behind that beautiful red tartan fabric. It was a tablecloth that I bought in Asda in Enniskillen for £8. And I cut it in half, and voila. I love it when things look so grand and yet are so cheap. But don't look cheap.